Hi guys, it's Molly West with Sensible Stitches, and I am back for my second installment. I've been doing Mania, Mania My Way, and I have gotten a lot of work done, so I'll show you what I've been doing. I've gotten a little bit off path, and that's okay, that happens. But the first piece that I have been working on is for my son. And the last time that I was on here, I told you all that he was having like a little bit of an episode where he got dizzy and we didn't know exactly what was going on. He has since seen his cardiologist, who says that his heart not only looks really good, but it's actually improved since his last cardiology appointment. So we're thrilled. And he is 21 years old and he lives with us. He has Down syndrome, and I am making him this. Let's see, that's a bad glare. There it is. And this morning was the first time that I showed it to him. And his, I asked him if he liked it, and he said that he did, which is great. He also told me, I said, it's a bee, and he said, it's a monkey. So here is my steampunk bumblebee. It's by Samsara Designs. And after looking at it through Chandler's eyes, I think I agree. He kind of has a monkey face. It's like if a monkey and a bee had a baby, they would have this. And my youngest daughter heard us talking about it, June, and she was reminded of the Super Bowl commercial where there was like the pug and they kept saying puggy monkey baby, but we decided this was bumble monkey baby, bumble monkey baby. So anyways, I've made good progress on this one. I'm really happy with it. I've decided that I am going to dedicate 3 days of stitching to this one to see if I can get closer to a finish. The wings are deceptive. They go, this is about 3/4 of the way finished, so I still have a good bit left over here. And of course, the orange will actually be bumped up against the blue, so you won't have that orange on coral. It will be brighter. There will be more of a contrast between colors. So, and so I have this entire wing to do. I've started 1 flower, but there are a total of 3 flowers in the design. So, you know, I've got another leg, suction cup leg. So I've got a little ways left, but I'm really proud of my progress on this one. It was a lot of stitching. I did his whole face, I did an arm, an antennae. He's so cute. Bumble monkey baby. So anyways, moving along, I did work on my yellow submarine, which is for my youngest daughter, June. I mentioned last time that in kindergarten, her entire kindergarten class sang several songs from the Beatles, and one of them was this. And so when she saw this particular chart, she really wanted it. So this is on a piece of fabric that I Rit dyed. It's 32 count. Oh, the last one was 32 count. I also Rit dyed that one. And the last time that I showed this, let me see if I can hold this board up. I had finished this, but I have since put in a flower here, a good bit of this border, these scopes, they look like submarine eyeballs. The top half of the submarine, you know, I'd maybe put in a little bit through here. And I had kind of a golden yellow down here that I thought looked very pineapple-y. And then after watching the video, I realized that it almost went brown. Like the gold against the turquoise, colors are so funny the way that they can play off each other. So what I've decided to do is for this, so I pulled all of the stitches out, which is fine. And so what I've decided to do is for the entire bottom and for these scopes, instead of trying to figure out another yellow that I like, is I'm just, since I am stitching 2 over 2, I stitched this, a blend of those 2 yellows, and I'm gonna do the same across the bottom because I know that I like the way that these look with the turquoise. And there's a little bit of that kind of golden color, and I left it there. I thought it was fine since it led up to a brown and yellow pot. I actually think it looks nice, so I left that alone. But that's where I am on this one. I'm gonna try and give this one 3 more days. I have 12 days left in the month, so I'm gonna do 3 for Bumble Monkey Baby, 3 on the yellow submarine, and I am going to do 3 on my current sampler out of my Fables and Fairy Tales book. I bought this at Joann's several months ago. I want to say this year, but it's been a while. And I've really enjoyed this. I've stitched several things in this. It's beautiful. I really enjoy these. So this is a French red sampler, and there's a poem in back stitch and straight stitch kind of through here and here, and it's in French, and then there's an alphabet at the bottom. And so the back stitch, the straight stitch poem, I've kind of gone back and forth on what I was going to do with that and the alphabet. And I think that what I'm going to put in there is a saying that I say to my 3 kids all of the time. We have a neurodiverse family. So my oldest son has Down syndrome, and my middle daughter has autism, and then my youngest is typically developing. And so one of the things that I say to them all the time is that when God when God made you, he didn't miss a stitch. God didn't miss them. I think he spent extra time on them. So anyways, but this is where I am on the red sampler, and it looks great. I have finished, since the last time, I have finished the back stitch around the letters. So I still have a good bit of back stitch for these cherries become music notes. There are lines going across to denote, the fact that it is a piece of music. All of the children's faces and clothes have backstitched throughout. And then the straight stitch that goes across here was the beginning of the poem. I'm gonna put my 3 children's names, Chandler, Fern, and June. And then across the bottom, I will be using a straight stitch to put, when God made you, he didn't miss a stitch. One of the things that I noticed was that the alphabet that they provided is absolutely beautiful, but there are no capital letters. So I am going to, I guess I can't really show you the inside of this, but I have this book here. And so I am going to be using one of my alphabets from in here that is almost identical in size and style, and just charting the G and the H for God and he, so that, and for my children's first initials. So C, F, and J will be charted from in here, and then I'll use the alphabet for all of the rest that comes directly from that chart. Let's see. The next thing that I worked on, that I was supposed to work on, that I told you that I was going to work on when I was still following instructions, is Wisdom from Long Dog Sampler. Oh, beautiful. And I was stitching on this, and I loved it. I started it on April, the last day of April. And the reason that I did that is because we are a neurodiverse family. I felt like something about all of the colors in here, the symbol for neurodiversity is like rainbow, and all of the colors in here reminded me of the colors of a rainbow. And April is Autism Awareness Day. So I thought that would be nice. What a pleasant way to mark the occasion. So I started working on Wisdom, and I worked on it for a few days and just loved it. And I loved it so much that I went and got online and ordered Virtue, which is the companion piece to Wisdom. And so, of course, I cannot wait to get that one in. I am going to hang, one on each side of our bed because they're large enough that I think that it will look really nice. But I have gotten just the bottom. I mean, I haven't even made it to the border, but my gosh, I got those peacocks in, and I have the most symmetrical initials of anyone in the whole world. They just are so pretty. My goodness, what a great monogram. MWM. It just works out well. So at any rate, I got a lot done on this. I love the colors. I love the color in the peacock tail. You know, so much of this is symmetrical. Like over here, I made an error, so I've frogged a bunch of stitches out of this error because you just want it to be, because it is symmetrical, I don't feel as okay with like cheating it here and there. I really want for it to be perfect. So I'm going back and actually making the corrections as I go, doing my best. I did get a few stitches, but I think all of the bright colors sort of left me yearning for something a little bit more dialed down. So I did put a few stitches in on, I have a black and white Heaven and Earth design. In fact, I believe that he's just called Black and White Horse, but he is absolutely gorgeous. There's something really haunting in his look to me, but he is so pretty. And so let me see. He still looks like a gray blob. I am less than 1% through this guy, and I am stitching him on 25 count, 2/1 10th stitch. And for anybody who is new to cross stitch, a 10th stitch is just basically it's a half stitch. And I find that on 25 count, if I use 2 strands over 1, I can get away with the half stitch. I still like the coverage. So this is where I am. It doesn't look like anything. It looks like, I think that Heaven and Earth designs look a little bit like a sonogram when your baby is very, very young, and the sonogram tech is saying, do you see the baby's face? And you're just going, yes, that's wonderful. And here's the baby's arm, and you're just nodding your head, and you have no idea what on earth is on that screen. That's what Heaven and Earth designs remind me of when they're in the beginning, kind of like a baby. And I got a little bit of haul this week, but one bit of my haul was so special. It was so extra special because I had never seen these designs, and I think that they might be older. I haven't even checked for a date on these, but they're fantastic. I have never seen them before, and I found them on Kitten Stitcher's website. And they look just like our house. Our house is mid-century modern, and so while I love to stitch, you know, Blackbird design, in fact, the next couple of things that I have kind of on deck to get started are, you know, kind of sweet and muted Blackbird design patterns, but man, shut the front door and look at that. Y'all, Look. Oh my stars. And they're seasons. Okay, this is by Birds of a Feather. This is summer. Winter. Look, the birds are the same in each one of them. Look at these. They're big. They are $2.95 by $3.84. I have to stitch all 4 of them. This, I'm showing that one last. It is the most beautiful thing. Okay, here's Spring. She's gorgeous. Look at Spring. What a beauty. Prepare yourself. The creme de la creme. Fall. No. Look at that hair. Look at those freckles and apples and pumpkins, and everything about this is so weird and fabulous. It just needs to get stitched and get on my wall. These look like my home. So I don't know how everyone else does it, but I find that I love to stitch things that are quaint and lovely, but they don't necessarily fit into the aesthetic of my house. And so the things that I stitch and hang are really different than the things that I stitch and like put in my sewing room or gift. And which is really nice because most of the people in my family have a different aesthetic than I do. So when I am, you know, right now I'm working on this piece for my nanny. It's on 18 count Aida, and it's a blackbird design, and it's gonna have some swans at the bottom, and it has their anniversary, and everything about this reminds me of her decor. It's called Swan Lake by Blackbird Design. It's so pretty. I still have a long ways to go on it, but it's so pretty. So I love stitching these things, but I tend to give them as gifts because what looks right in my house is that. Look at that. So, you know, I try to be sensible about it. I try to stitch a lot of the things like the bright, funky long dog samplers that I know I'm going to hang on my wall, the super crazy Birds of a Feather seasons that I know I'm going to hang on my wall because they look like our house. And then for gifts, for people who have a little bit more of a toned down style, I pull out my Blackbird designs. I pull out La-di-da. I pull out, let's see. Oh, you got to have a sneak peek of my maternity pants. So I don't know how everybody else is dealing with, just gonna set that there for a second. I don't know how everyone else is dealing with the stay home. I'm dealing with it fine. My husband is an essential employee, and our home has a mother-in-law apartment attached. It actually has 2 because we have 2 disabled children, and so one of them's a teenager, the other one's an adult. So we built 2 little mother-in-law apartments onto our home. So he's actually living in one of the mother-in-law apartments because he's an essential employee, and the children and I are living in the main part of the house because my son has had a couple of heart surgeries and he has heart and lung issues, and so we are just quarantined from one another, which is fine. But the funny thing about that is that I've been kind of mainlining potato chips and Snickers and Payday candy bars, and I went to get dressed to record this. I thought I'm gonna put on a button-down shirt. I'm going to throw on some jeans. I'm gonna look so cute. If you have been in pajama pants, stretch pants, and sweatpants and decide that you would like to put on some blue jeans to make a floss tube, do not seek the treasure. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. give yourself some grace, show yourself some kindness, and go into the far end of your closet and find your maternity breeches. And those are the ones that you need to put on. You go and you get your maternity pants and you throw those on, and then you feel great and you feel happy, and you just tuck those jeans away for another season of life, because this is not a season. If you are under strict stay-at-home orders because a doctor has told you that you're under very strict stay-at-home orders, and you have spent the last 2.5 months flat on your back and heavy consumption of all things tasty, I tuck those jeans away, friends. Nobody needs that kind of negativity. Nobody needs that kind of negativity. You tuck that away. You keep those stretch pants on. You show, and next time I'm coming in my pajamas, do not put on your jeans, whatever you do. I thought I was going to show you all. I don't know what I've done with him. I thought I was going to show you all. Oh, here it is. This is on. I have such a designer crush. And I know we all have crushes on different designers. But this is my designer crush. And I think it's just a reproduction company. Let me find one that's not in the, oh, here's a beauty. I'll show this one. Reflex de Soleil. I'm pretty sure my Texas accent just butchered that. But this, I mean, I can hardly stand. Oh, my stars. But they're all like that. I mean, every one of them is just, it'll take your breath, friends. It will, they just take your breath. They are so beautiful. I'm not going through all of them. This wasn't a stash dive. This isn't a stash dive. This is just, Lordy mercy. But one of the things that I would like to get up sometime between now and June is I have decided that while I am not wild about the complete composition of this little fella, here, I'll put him on the front of his own packet. This is Franzi, 1870. And this guy had a wild sense of style, or she. So I'm not super in love with the composition, but I am so in love with that little King Charles Cavalier dog right there. And he's about 130 by 130. And I think I need to stitch that little fella over 1/1 on 32 count in some sort of like a sagey green. And I'm hung up on it. I've kind of just been hung up on it. So that's on my radar. I can't start him until June because I've got to finish this stuff. I've got so much stuff to finish. And also in June, I wanted to get some gift stitching done because I've got a few items that I need to get. I need to send them to somebody to fully finish because I have no idea how to do any of that. So I have a few gifts that I need to fully finish during the month of June. But I think the other thing I need to start on is that little sucker. I mean, he is so adorable. But look at their designs, friends. I mean, those borders. Anyways, they're absolutely gorgeous. But this is something on my immediate radar that I need to get kitted up immediately. I love this. Immediate radar, immediately. So at any rate, that's where I am. I'm going to kit up my 4 seasons. They're gigantic. I'm going to kit up Franzi's dog. Maybe that's what I'll call him. Franzi's dog. I can't because that light my 11-year-old insisted that I buy. You can't see him. There he is. He is so cute. Those are the things that I'm looking to kit. And Virtue by Long Dog Sampler, which is the companion piece. But what I am planning on working on are just the 4 projects that I started the month on. I have made some sad choices. I worked on something that had nothing to do with anything, and it's a sad choice. I'm not even gonna show it. It's a geometric, funky heart. I don't even know where I've put it at this point, but my daughter saw the pattern. I don't even know where I put that thing. My daughter, oh, I see it. My daughter saw the pattern on Instagram with me. Okay, I'll show this one last thing. And it is so cute. Geometric Heart Squares by Happiness. Oh, cute. Except this has a lot of like navies and blues, and those aren't really my daughter's colors. She likes things that are modern, but those navies and blues were not her color. My daughter's room is decorated. She reminds me a bit of, we all know and love the scene in Still Magnolias when Julia Roberts is describing to Dolly Parton what her wedding decor is going to be. And she says, I have chosen the 2 most beautiful shades of blush and bashful. And Sally Field says, it's pink and pink. And Julia Roberts says, pink is my signature color. Well, pink is my daughter's signature color, but she wants everything to be contemporary. So we have decided on these cute geometric squares that will become a heart in her signature shades of blush and bashful. Let's see, is it blown out? I can't tell. Oh, I think that's pretty good. And it's on 28 count white, 2/2. Are you sensing a theme? I love a good white. Unless I'm gifting. And then I stitch on more mottled looking linens. So these things are on deck. Forget me not. You know, I do it for other stuff, but in my home, a lot of bright white. That's it. That is all she wrote for this week. It's been a good one. I was super happy to get my my package from Kitten Stitcher. I placed an order with my local needle shop. They're gonna have to order some of it in for me, but it felt really good to pump some money back into our local economy. And for all the moms that are on their last 2 weeks of homeschool, y'all, we've got this. We have come a long ways. We're in it together. We are in these trenches. You can do it. For all the essential employees, bless you, bless your families. I mean, this is wild. And for all of us that are staying home and finding our happiness through maternity britches and Snickers candy bar, show yourself some grace, because these are crazy funny times. But anyways, happy stitching, and we'll check in again soon. Bye.